it in the game.
Hey, fellow Kotanas, and welcome back to the channel, and we are going to do Alabama versus Stanford in week 4 of the Bill Walsh College Football season. So let's get right into it. Alright guys, so we look here quick at the team matchup before we get into the game, and Alabama and Stanford, this game might be the best game of the entire season. I mean, it's gonna be a close game regardless. I mean, you just look at this. You look at the averages and the overalls for the running backs, quarterbacks, offensive line. Offensive line for Stanford obviously better, but the defensive line not so much. So maybe some runs can be brought in today for Alabama. The linebackers, Alabama's going to be doing great there. Secondary, I mean, both teams with excellent secondaries. Passing's going to become a difficult one. This could possibly be the best game of the season. This time I'm actually going to show you the coin toss. And Stanford will choose to receive. So I think we'll just go ahead and defend home. Gonna be a windy game. Wow, every game's still being played. I'm surprised. Usually by now there's quite a few finals, but Colorado and State College gonna go to a final shortly. 37-24 State College winning there. SC beating Boston in a tough game, 10-0. Washington over Raleigh right now in the 4th, 27-9. Nebraska could come up big against Tallahassee there. Miami beating Syracuse 34-10. See what the scores are like at halftime. First kickoff of the game. Gonna be kicked off by Alabama. The wind is at our back, so that is going to affect us right off the get-go. Didn't take that into account when I was trying to decide which way I wanted to defend. Should have defended visitor instead of home, but it is what it is. We'll deal with it as it goes. And a loss of 4. So good start out for the defense. See if Stanford can get downfield. And like I said in my last video that I did on this game in this season, this game has always been fun, and a pass interference, right? Well, you got a pretty good secondary, but that is not what you want to see out of the secondary. And they are going to run it and get a gain of 5. So they lose 5 on their first play of the drive. Pass it for a first. And then, okay. And there we go, right up the gut, a short loss. Bring him down in the backfield. Keep him from getting any more yardage. Probably not going to be keen on running it again. On 3rd and 6 especially, but we'll go with the jam mandel. And it's intercepted. There we go. Finally, a positive for my team that I'm playing as. I would let the computer play these games, but it's just too much fun to play this game. It's a lot more... It can bring out a lot more entertainment value when you got someone playing as one of the teams, even against the computer. Big pass is caught and almost went all the way, 33 yards.
First down.
See what we can do on the run. And nope. 3 yards, but not enough. Close. Go in that goal line set. We'll see if we can get another Good rush off, and we do, and almost. I think I'm going to quarterback sneak it on this play. Why not? 1 yard line. We should be able to make it, right? Right? And we do. Touchdown. Alabama takes the lead 6-0. But will the win affect the extra point attempt? It has before. I believe in our first game was where that came up. And no, it's good. 7-0 start for Alabama over Stanford. Stanford, of course, at home, hosting this one. You wouldn't know it by each end zone always being painted with the team's colors, but hey, as it adds a little nice little retro mix. I actually enjoy that part of this game, that both end zones have both teams' colors and names on them rather than just the home team. Gives it that extra kind of bowl feel to it. You're playing a bowl game every game in the season and exhibitions. No gains so far. Stanford, they actually had a pretty good drive started up in the first drive, but second drive not looking so good. 3rd and 10. See if they can get a first down here, and it is going to be a fumble and another fumble, and Bama picks it up on the second time. 94. Could he go? Oh my God. This game not starting out well for Stanford at all. Definitely not what you want to see. Definitely not what you want to see on Super Bowl Sunday. And here we go. Bama. It is caught. Number 2. Touchdown. Taking a 2-possession lead. Stanford, 2 turnovers, an interception on their first drive and a fumble on their second, and both turnovers lead to great field position for Alabama and touchdowns. Now 14-0. Well, I thought this was going to be a good game, but maybe the turnaround is going to happen and one team's going to dominate. It could still turn into the game of the year. Both in this video game and in real life. Last 2 weeks have had some pretty good games in not week 2, but week 3 definitely actually had some pretty good games in them, especially the game of the week last week. 12-10 victory, Tennessee over Columbus. The clock continues to run. It's been a rough first quarter for Stanford, but see if they can get something going. First, they have to pick up a big first down on a 3rd and 8. Stanford passes it, not gonna get the first. We'll see what they want to do though. They're punting against the wind. I'm gonna see. Okay, they're gonna punt it. So even with 3 yards to go, they're still not gonna take their chances. Probably smart with how this first quarter is gone. You don't want to give up any more field position than you need to. That one's going way out of bounds. 40-yard punt, maybe the 5-yard line? 8-yard line, okay. And a great defense right there by Stanford. Loss of 3. Best field position for Stanford today yet. And a pass is going to get them way away from that end zone. So no chance for a safety. They had it, couldn't do it. And an option play goes for 3. Nice. Good little pickup there. Don't need to do much if you're Bama right now, because you really do have control of the game. And it's gonna be picked. Stanford's defense comes up big now. And it'll be brought down at midfield. 3 turnovers in this first quarter. 2 by Stanford on their first 2 drives. And on the third drive for Alabama, a turnover. Definitely not something you want to see anytime in a football game, and a nice gain of 21 there by Stanford. They may have just turned the game around early, but we'll see in the second quarter. Here we go, second quarter, first play of this one. Stanford, nice little quarterback rollout, gain of 12 for first down. Those shotgun plays, they're squirrely, man. You gotta be ready for them. You can't just randomly call a defense and know it'll work. Especially in this game, there is actually a strategy to how you play it. Most of the time, it's blind luck, but nonetheless, there's a strategy to it. Halfback pass, a short gain. Even if Stanford can get a 3-point field goal here, they'll be in much better position than they were at the end of the first quarter because they'll have points on the board. But with that wind whipping around like it is, it'll be tough. So we'll see if they can do it. With the clock running, 4th and 10. First 3-point field goal of the game is up and through. 34-yarder is good, and it's a 14-3 game. Stays a 2-possession game, but Stanford now has less work to do. Once you get those first points on the board, that kind of breaks the back a little bit of the opponent. First drive of the second quarter for Bama. See what Bama can do here. They did throw an interception, and there's a nice gain of 21. Number 2 coming up big right now for this team in the passing game, receiving game. And he'll be bounced around breaking tackles, but it'll still be a short loss. 2nd 11. Go with a nice little halfback toss pass, and it is gonna be picked off again. So Stanford is going to have great field position yet again with the wind at their back, and they have a chance to get closer. That play will be, oh, I thought it was going to be brought down in the backfield, but it was a gain of 1. Nice. Was able to squeak out of the backfield just barely. Not that time, a short loss. So it'll be 3rd and 10, more than likely here. Nope, still 3rd and 9, just a short loss. So an inch loss. And he will be brought down, a sack, loss of 8. Getting admonished by his coach that just so happens to look exactly the same as every other team's coach. Like John Madden coaching for every team in Madden football. And gonna let that one go. Nope. 80's gonna pick it up, and oh boy, we got a slow 80. Slow burning 80. But he does return it for 17, so better field position than where we would have been at. So, minute 59, second quarter is zooming. Can't believe it. Feels like it just started, but we are definitely almost nearing halftime. Pass out, 83, a gain of 4. It's become a little bit of a stalemate between these two. Halfway expected it to start out like that, but Bama's defense came up big on 2 drives, and that is going to be incomplete. So Stanford's defense comes up big again. 2 turnovers the last 2 drives, and now they will force the first punt by Alabama of the day. And it's going into the wind, so they're going to get great field position here. Not just great, terrific. The best starting field position they've had all game. Right on the other side of Alabama's side of the field. Plenty of time left for them to get a touchdown and draw nearer to Alabama, and they will take their first timeout. 2nd and 15 here, going in the shotgun with 3 receivers set. Got motion on defense, and nice little pass. Not going to do much for them, though. They might be able to hit a field goal with the way this wind is, but I don't think that wind is as strong as I think it is.
Incomplete.
Oh boy, I don't know. I'm gonna play it safe. Either way. Gonna go into the end zone? Yes, it does. Not only in the end zone, way into the stands it goes. Oh, 57 seconds. Try and play for at least the field goal. Pass out to the right. And somehow it is picked again. 3rd turnover this half for Alabama. Haven't been able to fix that yet. Loss of 2 there. See if Stanford wants to call another timeout. They don't. They will keep the clock rolling. Maybe feeling a little bit better about this field position than they were on the previous drive. And he gets the first just barely.
First down.
Now they are definitely in field goal position. Loss of 5, but it doesn't guarantee them that they will get the field goal. I know they have at least 2 timeouts remaining, so I'm shocked and surprised to see that they're not taking them. Apparently they were banking on that. More than likely they're going to go for the field goal, so we're just going to go right to the field goal block. 3 seconds left until halftime. See if they can hit it. Kick is up. Kick is going to be good. 39-yarder to end the first half, and it's a 14-6 game going into half. All right, so State College beats Colorado 40-34. A big win for Washington, 41-9. SC goose egging Boston 27-0. Tennessee over Pullman getting another win in another tough game, 31-24. Basically everyone went final except for Georgia and South Bend, Kansas and Florida in a tight one, Michigan and College Station in a Alabama is just barely holding the edge over Stanford offensively. Obviously, it's the passing interceptions that are the trouble for Bama. However, it's kind of been a defensive game after that. Well, not even kind of. It has been defensive. 3rd downs need to get better for Stanford. Bama with the 1 penalty, which was on the first drive. And Stanford, of course, is going to have better time of possession because Bama hasn't had too many plays offensively due to the fact that, well, the first drive technically only lasted about 4 or 5 plays, and the second drive lasted, I think, only 2 or 3. So, and they haven't really been able to hold on to the ball that long either. Past that. Second half, Alabama will get the ball to start, so see if they made any kind of changes in the break. They will have the wind at their back to start the 3rd quarter. However, that means that they're going to have to be very cautious about field position when it comes to the 4th. So we'll see. And that's gonna be a big sack for the Stanford defense. A loss of 13 on that sack. Don't think quieting the crowd down even works in this game for the away team, but hey, good try. Short gain there. Need a big pass play. I think we're going to go to a shotgun for this one. Try and make it interesting. See if we can make them sweat a little bit. Not even a... Okay. Well, that was disastrous, and then some. So we'll punt it away, but luckily it'll maybe go onto their own side of the field as they almost got to the ball. Catch interference, but luckily it doesn't get called in this game. I think, now that I think about it, I think pass interference is literally like the only penalty that I've ever seen literally get called in this game. There we go. Bring him down. Short loss. 2nd and 11. Here we go. Got away from his assignment, but hey, gain of 6. Had some backup from the secondary. Another 3rd down. Their evil down of their drives, and it's going to be incomplete. 35-yard line. Wind going against them. Probably going to punt it. Or not. Okay. Let's see if the defense can come up with a big stop. And they do. Stays right where it's at. 14-6. And Bama, nice little gain of 4, actually. Getting caught up on the guys, but that's just typical of this game. Alright, 2nd and 6. There we go. A nice little option play, but it's going to be a no-gainer. Bama, here we go. 3rd down, and nice pursuit by that defensive lineman. He's going to knock the ball away before it can even reach the second level of the defense, and it will be batted down. And a big kick here, probably going to reach near the red zone, close, within the 20-yard line. Not a massive return, but it is one that gets them into better field position than where they would have been at. And a sack right up the middle by 52, loss of 9. Can't see the celebration, but he is enjoying that one. This is what I expected from this game. This is more of what I would have thought this game was going to start out as. Just defense running over offenses. Although I guess that is technically what we've had. So I guess I did get what I expected. Oh yes, of course. What am I thinking? They're down still, so they are definitely gonna try for it. 10-yarder. I think that's not gonna be it. Nope. So the best field position for actually either team, really. Well, I guess not technically, because Stanford did get it in pretty good field position on their first offensive drive, but this is going to be Bama's best offensive drive of the second half. And right away, first play, it's going to be picked. Really? Really? Well, I guess a little tit for tat on that one. So 4 turnovers, all interceptions against Bama. But this defense has been stifling. Stanford hasn't really been able to move it well from deep in their own territory. And it's going to be a big pick going the other way for Bama. Big first down here for Alabama on offense. And it's a pass for 19 yards.
First down.
That's what you want if you are Bama's quarterback. You definitely don't want to be throwing all these interceptions. And a loss of 6 there. Stanford crowd is loving it. Probably sweating at this point because their team has had chances, and that is going to be, I believe, on either the 1 or the 2 yard line.
First down.
1 yard line of Stanford. So here we go. See what these two teams can do.
49.
See if Stanford can make a goal line. Nice. Holy mackerel, that was a great play. Jesus. That will end the third quarter. All right. Second and goal from the 3 yard line. Bama. Another quarterback sneak right up the gut. Gets a gain of 3. It'll be on the inch line. And he got it in. Rushing touchdown. 1 yarder. Barely even a 1 yarder. But Alabama may have secured it if their defense keeps up what it's been doing. And I believe that's the first touchdown in Stanford's end zone all game long. Stanford now facing a big-time deficit of 21-6. And it's their quarterback that's going to try and get a spark going. 7 yarder off of that rush. Not a bad choice. I mean, running with the quarterback in this game, there's no speedy quarterbacks like there is in today's world of football, real life or in gaming, but if you need a spark for your team, that's one way of doing it for this game. In fact, I think I remember actually winning a game down by 2 possessions or even 3 possessions and winning it solely with the quarterback because I found out he was actually pretty speedy for a quarterback in this game. 4th and 8. See what Stanford can do. Can they finally break this mold? They do, and it's going big. And he'll be brought down, but it's a huge reception. 55-yarder. He saw the end zone, couldn't get it there. But Stanford in great field position now. A huge 4th down play. First down. Loss of 2. Not what you want after a big play, but it doesn't hurt them terribly. And incomplete. Keep it a-rolling. I don't know why I'm doing this, defense. That's stupid. Oh, really? Okay, well, that's one way to go about it, Alabama. They'll keep it rolling here on this drive. First down. And luckily that's not going to be a fumble somehow. But okay. From the 13-yard line. Well, I forgot about the offsides. By the way, if you press the L button before a ball is snapped on defense, everybody on the defensive line will move. just letting you know. Gain of 5. So 1 yard left after that measurement. Split back here to receiver set. Clock stopped because he got out of bounds. It's going to be a run play that is going to be dropped for a 4-yard loss. So a big 4th down going to come up. See if they can get it. From the 7. Stanford. A blitz will sack him in the back. 8 yards. And Bama gets it back. Well, it's almost at a point in this game where Bama has secured this victory. Touchdown or a field goal, either of those will pretty much solidify this. Unless Bama just decides to, may as well let the clock run a little bit. Two-yard gain there. Oh, try this halfback sweep. Split back here. The clock run a little bit because they're not going to be, at this point, they're pretty much admitting defeat. Loss of 6. Oh, quit the headbutting. I ain't going to make it easy for them. If they want to win, they're going to have to beat this team the hard way. Which at this point, it's pretty well secured that Bama's going to win. In a game that I thought was going to be a little bit closer than this. But the defenses have done their job. They've kept it from blowing out of proportion. So Stanford's offense just couldn't do enough. See if they can at least get some more points on the board here. Bad little gain there. Call it one of their timeouts. 51 left on the clock. Pass over to the left. Ooh, I thought that was going to be called a pass interference. It looked pretty close. Very iffy on that one. And 9-yard gain. Solid. I believe they had one last chance, right? 4th down? Or was that 1st down? I don't remember. 4th and inches. Oh boy, I don't know which one they're going to go with here. We'll go with Mad Dog. Could it be possibly a run? They are going to run it. And they're going to get the first. I really didn't think they would actually run it there and let the clock move like that, but what else can you do at that point? Are you sure that wasn't pass interference? Kind of felt like he was pushing into the receiver, but deep pass is going to be caught. 21-yarder. They're close to that end zone, but that clock is definitely not on their side. They may have this play and the next play. Okay, they have at least one more play, depending on what happens on this one. Ten seconds left. Alabama's going to get out of here with a win, and yep, that's going to be the final play of this game for week 4. Alabama beats Stanford 21-6. So before we get into week 5, here is all of the games for week 4. Georgia beating South Bend 30-27. There's that big win for Miami over Syracuse. Nebraska played a tight game against Tallahassee. It was a fun game, but they can't do it. Surprise, surprise. Arizona beating Columbus, of course. Another 2-point loss for Columbus. They can't keep suffering those. Your confidence can only go so far. Of course, Michigan over College Station. We saw that at halftime in our game. 31-20. 54-34 Hawaii over Provo. Big dominating win for Washington. They could very well be the early odds-on favorite to win the entire thing. Colorado loses to State College 40-34. Florida beating Kansas 30-20. Tough game there for both of those teams. Eventually we will see Florida. SC beating Boston like we saw in the halftime, 27-0. We'll also see SC eventually in this Let's Play. Tennessee over Pullman, and of course Alabama over Stanford. What I thought was going to be a rough and tumble game, to a degree it was, but really Bama really did have control throughout that game. The offenses definitely were not the stars, though, in that game. So let's go over Week 5. Here we go. Week 5, we got Pullman in Arizona. Interesting little game. Tallahassee and Bama. Provo and College Station. Colorado and South Bend. Georgia and Hawaii. Tennessee and Florida. Boston and Stanford. Syracuse, Kansas. Miami SC. State College in Columbus. Michigan and Raleigh and Washington versus Nebraska. Now would be a Big Ten matchup. Back then, I believe it was still would have been maybe Pac-10, maybe, I think, and Big 8. I know it was still Big 8 for Nebraska. I think it was still Pacific 10 back then in these days, but I can't remember off the top of my head right now. I think the game that more than likely will be the game that will be featured will be Provo and College Station. So, the East. So, throwing it out there, I did the standings, or I showed you guys the standings for last week, and they probably will look a little different. There's kind of a reason behind that, too. The reason behind that is because, sadly, there's kind of been a buffer, to a degree, or a revamp to this season. Week 3 decided not to entirely let me use the password, or this game didn't entirely let me use the password, because back then you had to use passwords in order to recoup your save. Well, something happened. I don't know what. I don't know if maybe I got the password or maybe was putting in the wrong password. I'm not entirely sure. I know I wasn't putting in the wrong password, but for some reason I had to use Week 3's password, and that one worked. So, unfortunately, the teams that may have won last week probably didn't win, the ones that I featured anyway last week in those videos. So it might look a little different. For instance, like Florida and Michigan were not undefeated last week. This week they are, so scratch the standings from last week's video. This will hopefully be the current standings. In the West, Pullman, Hawaii are at the top. Yeah, see, Hawaii's still on a winning streak, but the other one definitely has changed. And College Station and Provo down there at the bottom, both 0-4 teams. Winless teams, definitely gonna feature that one after seeing that for sure. They probably weren't winless last week. This week they're winless. But nonetheless, that is where I am going to end this episode here. Look forward to next week's episode featuring College Station and Provo, and maybe another 2 for Friday will be coming up in the weeks to come. But for right now, it'll be just this one game for this week and College Station and Provo, unless I change my mind, but more than likely just College Station and Provo for next week. But I hope you're enjoying this little Let's Play of the season, or this season anyway. I mean, this game is just too much fun. I had to do something to really dig into more of this game, and this was the best way that I could without always bringing exhibition games. Maybe someday I'll get a second player and do some 2 or 1-on-1 action in the exhibition, maybe even the season mode. We'll see what happens. But I thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and leave a like on that thumb button. If you want to subscribe and come join me for more rad videos, it'd be really awesome of you. And if you want to leave a comment down below, go ahead. I always love hearing from you guys. And aside from that, always remember to imagine your dream, create your happiness, and live your life on the edge. And I will see you in that next episode. See ya.